Welcome and thank you for joining us for another Chamber Talk here on the Fairfield Media Center. I'm Director Jason Strong, and I'm here with Director Mindy McAdams from the Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce. And we just got through having two fairly decent events, one being the Legislative Forum. And how do you feel that went?
We had a very large crowd of very excited folks. It got a little heated, I would say, when we had some shouting from the audience. But overall, I think it went very well. Politics brings out the passion in folks.
Indeed it does.
And we have survived another legislative forum season. And so we're going to look at a few things on how we can tweak that to make it an even better experience for all involved.
Well, I know Fairfield Media Center was there. We of course, live streamed it. And so if you didn't get a chance to see it, you want to find out what was going on, go to Fairfield Media Center's YouTube channel. It'll be right there for you guys. And no, I mean, now, while our mics, I don't think really picked up some of that audience chatter that was going on, there were definitely some heated passions involved there. But
we've really had to change how we introduce that event and be very stern. And so when I get feedback, it's usually you sound like, you're being a mad mom. And no, it's because
have to pull out the mom voice.
We say those things because we change what we say based on how the audience or the legislators behave. And so it's not intended to be this very energetic thing. It's supposed to be so you can have an opportunity to tell your legislators what they should or shouldn't do or ask questions, and for the legislators to give their opinion. There's just some, and we try to be topic specific based on what's going on at the Capitol so that you are actually having an effect on what they're working on. But there's always just, when politics have become so polarized, it's just really hard to keep it in the middle.
And I know you guys try to kind of limit that back and forth so that other people can ask questions and move on. It's not really that discussion time. It's literally to pose your question or pose an idea or whatever to get a response. And kind of leave it at that and move on. Some of them stay afterwards, and you can ask a little bit more, things like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's really when during the actual time, it's kind of ask your question, get a response, move on. And not everybody's too happy with that.
No, but people have trouble following directions. And unfortunately, we have people that don't get to ask their question because we get this back and forth debate, and we never want a debate. Even in our October Meet the Candidate Forum, it's not a debate. It's to just get their opinion out, and so you can be an educated voter.
Exactly. Now, I know when we're live streaming, we live stream high quality video and try to give you guys the best feeds out there as far as the general public is concerned. Occasionally, things do buffer. You do, like I said, it is a resource intensive deal when you are streaming live video. And so if there is ever a buffer point, just know Fairfield Media Center, we do not cut anything out of anything we do.
Yep.
We give you the main chunk of everything. The only thing we might cut is like an actual mess up in a program that we're doing that just for flow. We are never going to cut information. I know we did have a comment on our YouTube channel that says, hey, this looks like a cut. What were you trying to hide? And it really was. It was a massive buffer point we experienced. And in our recording, which we then post to the TV station, it's not the one that gets uploaded because the live stream's automatically uploaded. Does not have that in it. So it was a true buffer point. We didn't do anything to it.
We're never hiding stuff.
We're never hiding things. FMC tries to give you as much information as possible. And so just understand that, there are resource intensive stuff out there. That being said, how was John's party?
Oh my goodness. There were so many people. It was so hot. There was so much food. And John was gracious enough to provide donuts for the Legislative Forum the next day, which was wonderful for all of us that went home and slept for a couple hours. It's always a good time, and he gave away several bottles of Shanky's Irish whiskey, which I did not win and I'm super salty about, but that's okay. Some of my friends did, Claire.
They can share, right?
I told her, she had already left, and I said, I'm calling you to tell you that I'm an honest friend, and I'm bringing you this bottle. I could have just taken it home, and you would have been none the wiser. But it's funny, today Claire points out, I haven't posted on our social media about John's business after hours because it's so back-to-back with those events. I just completely... So today we'll do a flashback Friday, and we'll put it up there about... Remember last week when we were doing this and then the sirens went off because it was so windy and all of the fun things happened?
I was actually surprised how many people, when they heard the sirens, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
They just like, what are the sirens going off for? Have you not heard the weather? Like,
And it wasn't tornado, but and that there was a really great Brett Farrell, our emergency management coordinator, really did a great job of getting out there, getting in front of it, and saying, okay, yes, it does go off for tornadoes, but it also goes off for these things.
Yeah, it's not just a tornado siren like it was back in the day.
And it's spring, right? It's when we start thinking about weather, and so it's a really great opportunity for us to remember what the sirens do. Forgot. You thought you didn't hit record.
I thought I didn't hit record.
He'll cut that part.
Oh.
Jason almost thought he forgot to hit record. He's a pumpkin.
Of course, I might leave it in there. I don't know. It's kind of comical at times. You get paranoid about these things when you're in front of the camera and not behind the camera.
Mm-hmm. I feel it.
Now, all that being said, you've got another large event coming up right around the corner with the Chamber Awards Banquet.
Absolutely. So our past Citizens of the Year met, and they have selected the winners for this year. It is top secret. Not very many people know. And then
Need to know only.
I don't want to have to kill you if I have to tell you. And then we had our committee met last night, and they picked the other winners. So today I've gone around like Publishers Clearinghouse and the Iowa Lottery, and you're a winner. And it's so wonderful. I've seen people jump up and down. I saw one person like shaking and almost crying. And it's my favorite time of the year to get to go tell people they're a winner and why they're a winner. And so, yes, the awards banquet is coming, Kentucky Derby themed with our big hats, and it's going to be a good time. We are starting to fill up. So if you want a table or a half table or just a seat, you'll definitely want to get registered.
Absolutely. Now, where do they go to get registered?
FairfieldIowa.com. And you can do it there. You can go to the chamber events, to the annual awards banquet. It's posted to the top of our social media pages. Or you can just call Claire and she can do it.
It's also in Chamber Talk.
It's also in Chamber Talk. Claire's baby.
FairfieldIowa.com is the place to go to find out all this kind of information, not only about the Chamber Awards Banquet, but the Chamber Chatter, and being able to stay informed on all the events that are going on in town. You guys have a community calendar, which, by the way, I have linked to the Fairfield Media Center's website as well, so that way everybody kind of gets tied in together. Mm-hmm. But no, definitely check out FairfieldIowa.com if you haven't been there. That being said, what are all the other little details going on?
So, Claire, our trusted chamber administrator, is our guest. So this is a little bit more flowy than we traditionally do.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. I asked Claire to be here because Claire has really taken our Chamber Chatter e-newsletter and made it amazing. It was so robust that she's now turned it into 2.
Yeah.
So what do we get on Friday? What is the Friday one? What is the Monday one? And what else? What do people need to know?
Friday comes out at 6 a.m. They both come out at 6 a.m. because I figure, people are getting up. They want it early. A lot of people look at their emails on their phones these days. So those come out at 6 a.m. Fridays, you get a breakdown of a day by day of what is going on in Fairfield for chamber members or events of chamber members. And that's broken out by day. So it starts off at the top with chamber events, and then it's broken down by day. Friday, this is what's happening. Saturday, Sunday, all the way through the week. And then down at the bottom, you'll see some high points of things that are coming up a little bit later. Maybe some flyers of things that you might want to know about a couple weeks in advance. And then I usually throw in some little shout outs to some of our members if they've just, needing a little boost or, wanting to get more exposure. So that's Fridays. So if you do have an event, have a flyer and you're a chamber member or you work at a chamber member business or organization, send it my way. That's info@fairfieldiowa.com. So that's Friday. And then on Monday mornings at 6 a.m., I do a lot of just notices, kind of things that are going on, not necessarily events. You know, if your business won an award, or you're highlighting an employee, or there's a new feature for your organization or something like that. It's a lot of those type of things. I put a lot of the community school notices in there. I get a lot of stuff like that. And then there's a little section for training and education. So if there's like business training going on, or like Traction Thursdays, the entrepreneur group,
big one we're a part of.
we'll put that in there, and just things like that. So that's what you're going to find on Monday. I have done a lot of work getting it to be kind of all-encompassing. So like you were talking about the legislative forum, if you are looking for that video is actually right on our chamber chatter that comes out Monday. So the video will be right there for you. I try and say, you know, like what we've been up to in the past week, so you can see those things there as well. And if you have something like that you would like to share with the Fairfield community, this is a good place to do it. So
what if I'm one of those businesses and I'm not very good at making an event flyer, but I want to be in the newsletter, but I don't know how to put my stuff together?
Well, a lot of times I can pull things together with just a logo and some information about the event. Like as much information as you can give me, obviously, location, time, date, what is it for? And I can put something together for the newsletter. I'm probably not going to have time to like design an entire flyer for anybody anymore, just because a lot of times I am building the entire newsletter from scratch. I don't get a whole lot of the things that I put in the newsletter sent to me directly. I am hunting them down. So I am scouring Facebook feeds and going to the websites of as many of our chamber members every week to make sure I get as much of that pulled in as I can.
People don't realize how much work goes into a newsletter type format.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of members, so you know it's a lot of hunting. And I get extremely giddy when somebody sends me something in email. I'm like, this is amazing. Even, you know, the smallest starting point is exciting. If I get a full flyer, whew, over the moon. So yeah.
So if you're a chamber member, send your stuff to Claire. Don't make my girls spend all day hunting and pecking for your things, and then just send it to her, and she can make sure it happens. And send it to her with more than a day's notice.
Well, while she seems very joyous, it also sounded like a small plea.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Because we have other things. You know, the awards banquet takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of work for both of us to make sure that we're getting people registers and making sure that we have the right names for the tables, and that we've got the awards winners and the awards sponsors all not, you know, communicating, and they know where they're going and what they're going to do. So yeah, definitely save the girl some time. Send her the stuff.
Yeah, and if you're not signed up, if you're not getting those emails, and you think you should, just email me. You can find the newsletter application to sign on to it on our website.
Yep.
But if you're having trouble with that, email me. If you happen to be walking by our office, there is a QR code in our window for sign up as well. So that's an easy way to do it if you need to do that. I want to add another thing about what I have changed about Chamber Talk is almost everything will have a link to that business or the registration page. So you don't have to go and type all that in yourself. If you're there and you see the event and you need to register for it, there will be a button, or if you click on the picture, it'll take you to the registration, or it'll take you to that website or Facebook page or event. So hopefully it's user-friendly and everybody loves it. But, you know, if there's ever any issues or feedback, I love that too. Send it all to me.
And if you want to be on Chamber Talk, you can also just give Claire a call and she'll get you scheduled. It's 472-2111.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've got that calendar. So if you want to come be like us and talk about all your things, This is a good way to do it.
It's super informal. Like, don't be scared. It's not hard. We keep the momentum and the flow of the conversation. So even if you're like an introvert and you're like, I don't want to do it, it's super, super easy. We definitely make it easy.
We have so much fun doing this. You don't realize how much fun we have because we don't record every single bit of this, the before and after.
Shenanigans.
Exactly.
So after the awards banquet, our next big thing is the golf tournament, which is June 6th. And you need to get your team signed up because there is a limited amount of golf carts. There's a limited amount of spaces. And we already have quite a few of them signed up. So.
Yeah, I've been surprised this early how many registrations we've gotten already. I mean, this is my first time on this side of it. So,
boys and girls alike can play golf. The boys will be at the Walton Club and the ladies will be at the Country Club. And the night before is an all-chamber business after hours. So if you're a small business, an at-home business, or you're just feel intimidated by having a business after hours, you can buy a table for $30 and you can have your paraphernalia for your business there and tell the people that come what you do, why they should support you, what you sell, do whatever. And there will be appetizers and beverages of the adult and non-adult variety for free to entice you to come, mingle, bring the golfers out. Maybe you can play some golf while you're there. It'll be a good time.
And June's right around the corner. It will be here way faster than you think it will, especially as the nicer weather kicks in.
Absolutely. And for us, for April, we get really intense on that awards banquet. And then you have the hangover because it's been such an intense month. And then it's like, oh no, the golf tournament's right next week. So yeah, lots of things happening there.
You get 1 day of break.
Yes. Yes. And we're doing something else different for the golf tournament. We are doing an online auction. So rather than doing the live auction and rather than doing the silent auction, it'll all be online so anybody can participate. It'll start, it'll probably run for about a week, maybe a little less before the tournament. It'll run through the tournament. And then by the end of the tournament, it's done. You pay your bill, take your stuff home. We've already gotten, a package from Riverside Casino. We've got a package from Lakeside Casino. You never know what's going to come in the mail.
Fun stuff is coming in the mail.
It's always like, oh, what did they send us? What did they send us? Because they'll say they're donating and you don't always know what you're going to get.
Can be a grab bag at times.
Big box, big box, big box, big box.
No whammy.
Do we have anything else on the docket?
Claire?
We have some business after hours coming up.
That we have openings for.
Soon, yes. Be watching. We've had a lot of new members, so be watching Chamber Chatter. I try and recognize them there as well. What else?
We are looking for a host for April and May for Business After Hours. Our April person has moved to later in the year. So if you want to host an April Business After Hours, it's a great opportunity. Put a little food out, put a little drink out. People come into your business, and then you can one-on-one, you can give them tours, talk about what you do. So
And the weather's getting nice. People want to get out.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. There were a ton of people at Morrissey's, so
Yes. Yeah.
all right.
this.
Well, I think that's good for this week, friend.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us online for another Chamber Talk. Again, we tried to do this weekly and get together to bring you guys everything that's kind of going on. And so we'll see you next week.